Yo, it's your friendly neighborhood prophet of the drowned god, the Motherload, and this is the Pigeon Classic recap show. Also, be sure to stay tuned afterwards for a little something special from LocKtar and BPS. Welcome to a special edition of In the Keep podcast. I'm once again your fucking host, the Motherload, and I've got all the awesomest members of the Keep here, except for the ones who didn't make it. So we got eXtwofour, Spaced, and Haducant. How you guys doing?
Dude, just fine, my dude.
Everybody talked at one time.
Great start.
Dude. That's how good we are.
Sick. Okay. So, I guess I just want to lay out, first and foremost, this is the Pigeon Classic recap show. We're just going to talk about the event kind of in retrospect. The reason why we did it is for Suplex. He's a Z-Daemon player. He lives in Egypt, and unfortunately, he suffers from leukemia at a very young age. So we just wanted to show our support. Every year, we try to do this charity event. This is 2 years running now. And we were looking for a cause, and at the last minute, we got word of what was going on with him, and it became my priority is let's make him the focus, let's give back literally to someone in the community. And he didn't want the money. He wanted us to give it to the Egyptian Cure Bank, which is where we just sent it. So that was awesome.
What a cool dude, man.
He'd
be like, no, I don't want it. Send it to the foundation.
Well, it's like, because I was like, do you have any bills like that you need paying for, like your family? Maybe do they need money? Because I didn't know, like maybe he's fucking terminal. Like honestly, I didn't know.
Sure.
And like maybe his family needs something to get by or to help out, and because American dollars apparently adds up quite a bit in Egyptian pounds. Yeah. I know there's like conversion rate, but at the same time, like he seemed happy with that number, and it's all just going to the hospital now, which is apparently that particular fund helped him pay for medical bills, and he's like, give to the other children. And
yeah.
I teared up a little bit, honestly, like before and after the event, thinking about that.
Yeah. And the amount of messages in Discord, it was really incredible.
Yeah.
And I've had people ask me, well, what is that foundation and everything? I mean, I'm from Memphis, and so we have we have a lot of the St. Jude stuff here, and it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just there to help the families, help the patients, and also provide as high quality treatment as they possibly can.
I always thought kind of from the beginning, like it's going to be weird. I didn't know how people would react to the fact that it was, in the Middle East, because, some people in America have kind of distorted opinions about that. But the fact is that, like, to me, I don't give a fuck what country this guy's from. Like, he's one of us as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. That was I think the coolest part was like, the first year we did this, it was smaller. It was dedicated for the California wildfires, and then this year it went much more global, and it kind of brought in a lot of new people from all over the world. And I thought that was really neat to make it, a global kind of cure fund instead.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good choice. And so it worked out.
Yeah. I don't know any other way to put it other than just like, Cathala doesn't care. Like, what did I say in the actual message? Like, we don't care about your nation, your faith, or your source port, because I knew we were going to host it on Z-Daemon. Like, people are going to be like, "Oh, why didn't you fucking host it on Otomex, you pussies?" Or like whatever.
Well, it's like the Red Cross doesn't care where you're from, or even if there's a battle going on, they don't care what side you're on. They're there to help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shouldn't matter at all. Like, but I think we're good. We made the right choice. Everybody showed up and did the support. I'm not saying anybody who didn't support it is an asshole, but I'm saying anybody who didn't support it because of the nationality of, the person, fuck them. Like, I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah. It's a non-issue, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
It's very much a non-issue.
There are people from everywhere playing in these games.
Yeah, that's the best part of the community, and to bring in more people by doing that is like the dream, instead of keeping it more local, it's like expands it out, pretty neat.
We spent a long time planning this thing, like 3 weeks, kind of. Like, I think I started the week before October, kind of like getting the word out, like, hey guys, we're going to do this, it's time. And then, figuring out what we were going to do, like who it was going to go towards, and then the actual event itself. Like, I knew I knew we were going to do Doom because like that's what Suplex is. It would have been really stupid to have an event for Suplex without Doom in it, especially Z-Damon. And then
Exactly.
Nationwide Boost stepped up. He's like, we're doing, if it's going to be on that weekend, I said like the 18th, 19th. He's like, we're doing FNS that night, Friday night survival. Let's just do that, but we'll put it, we'll put it up as part of the Pigeon Classic. I'm like, perfect. That takes a lot of work off my back.
Yeah.
So he took care of that, and that event was like, objectively, I think the most fun that I had, like the least stressful because it's not competitive.
Yeah, it was a party, man. Like that was the most fun. I was just watching it on YouTube because I caught like half of it. Like there were parts, and it's just so much fun to listen to. Like and all the copyrighted material that got put in there. Like,
Yeah, you can thank
like
Flambeau.
and it's like Z-Damon in particular. Like with the character skins, it's like it's kind of what I loved about Quake 2 was that you could kind of just add any of your own skins. That idea and how flexible, like all the fun it brought to it was neat.
I think that's what makes Z-Damon so special and why a lot of people, especially, people who aren't connected to others, kind of gravitate towards it because it has the strongest sense of like community of all the, of most of the anything really of any game that I've ever played. Z-Damon is like every time we play survival, it's a fucking party. The whole 4 hours, 5 hours of just non-stop debauchery. It's all about having a good time. And then in particular, towards the end of it, like my boy Lego Ninja, who was totally new to all of this stuff, like he basically downloaded the client the day of, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'll fucking support it." He's a coworker of mine. He's like, "Yeah, I'll donate $1. Let's play." Shows up and then becomes kind of like the star of the night towards the end of it because he's like on map 19 of Eternity. Thank you, Dragonfly, for making that. Lego Ninja is the only guy left, really. Somebody else was AFK. And everybody in Z-Damon knows that when you're the only person left, we're getting spammed with Macho Man until you die. So it's just like, it's just the village people playing. And then there's all these different versions that they found, like a speeded up version, Macho Duck, for whatever fucking reason. Some like Korean sing. I don't even know what the hell that is, but yeah, that got a copyright flag. Well worth it.
Totally worth it.
And the other champ of the night was Capelli because Capelli is in fucking Finland. We're playing until the wee hours of the morning in America, and it's like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. by the time we were done with it. Capelli shows up, still kicking ass, stayed there the whole night. And I really wanted to thank him particularly. Like, he's a fairly prominent streamer, at least in our community. And it was super cool that he like just all out went in there. And he played in the Warfork again later on, which we'll talk about too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what a rock star. That's quite a marathon. Like a lot of people put the weekend in for the event, which was the coolest part, I think.
I sure shit did.
Yeah.
It's fun. And then Scoob Facts, who I'd never met before, but Scoob Facts was really fun because we made a drinking game out of that kid.
What?
Like,
what'd you do?
Like Scoob Facts, like, hey, Scoob Facts, I love you if you hear this. You're awesome. But young kid with like a squeaky-ish voice, and everybody's just kind of laughing the whole time, and his whole gimmick is like telling people facts about Scooby-Doo for whatever reason. and then I like we were talking about like Halloween and favorite horror movies, and then Scoob Facts is like, what is everybody dressing up for Halloween? And I'm like, I'm going to be Hopper from Stranger Things, and then we hear just this rant about that guy's a fucking asshole, he's retarded. I guess David Arbor made some kind of political statement that I don't care about, but to me, I was like, I don't care. I'm being fucking Hopper. Fuck you. And so we made a drinking game. Every time Scoob Facts says retarded, which happened a lot, everybody's got to take a drink. And then by the end of the night,
no,
shit faced. I had a few brewskis, and I think that the part that I really wanted to like say a huge thank you for too was 40 Lines. So the night before, I promised I would tell you about this, Steve. The night before the event, I was up late and I was thinking about like what are ways that we can really promote this thing? What's like the best way we can get eyes on this? And I was like, well, we're shit streamers. No one fucking follows us, really. It's growing, but not a lot.
Right. Yeah.
So I messaged Plague, 40, Rafa, Quake Angel, Jehar, every fucking body in the book. Like, you name them, I probably sent them a drunk message that night. It's like, hey, yo, like, I know you don't know me that well, but, like, you know who I am. We're doing this charity event. If you happen to be streaming and you see us online when you get off, please raid the channel. And who but 40 Lions came through for us, man. And many heart emojis were exchanged when it happened. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to him because that was actually really nice. And we did get a few donations as a result of that and quite a few people watching and supporting it.
Yeah. Thank you, 40, for helping out.
Thank you, 40.
You guys at one, what was it, over 100
Papi.
you had on the stream at once?
I think like something like he rated us with like 109 people or some ridiculous shit like that, man.
Wow.
And we were averaging, like 30s, 40s, 20s, pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
So that was
during the Quake event. I think we had about 60 or 70 watching at one time.
That's a different animal, which is our next topic.
Yeah.
So, so the Quake event, we've been planning this actually a lot longer than the Pigeon Classic, and we just kind of like implemented it in conveniently. So obviously, I built up a rapport with LocKtar and BPS through the podcast. Both of these guys are fucking pros. I love them literally dearly. LocKtar is like, he's like the opposite of me in like the way he plays, but like, I've never, of all the podcast guests I've had, and that's no disrespect to any other podcast guests that I've had, probably Flambeau is like the only one that's really up there too.
Mm-hmm.
I became friends with this person through the podcast. Like LocKtar and me just clicked. And so I've been wanting to get an event going with him for quite a while, and then I also ended up becoming friends with BPS and like talking to him so much and everything. And I was like, I mentioned on the most recent podcast with LocKtar, like, would you ever do something like this where it's not a tournament, it's just an exhibition match? We just set you up with a time and an opponent, and you just come, show up, do your thing, and leave. And he's like, that sounds like the greatest thing ever. Please do that.
Sorry, yeah, exhibition matches are just a ton of fun.
Yeah, I think so too.
You still get that tournament feeling, but at the same time, just none of the stress.
Yeah, I think that they appreciate the no stress part of it, and then for me, it's like it's just an easier event to run. I don't have to worry about like managing all these people coming through and like waiting for them to get ready and everything. It's just like we're putting on a show for you, which is better stream content in my opinion. And it doesn't have to take 4 or 5 hours to do. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean that was one of the big bonuses of like QuakeCon this year was it was like a constant run of matches, where not any single match made all the difference, but it was just so many matches, so many games to watch. I mean
that's when this clicked for me too, was when I saw the Pro League, and like I had no faith in it, especially the first half of the weekend. It was like, this is fucking stupid. And then when I saw what they did with the end of it, it's like, oh, all the, the rankings were leading up to this, which is way better than having a tournament. It's just, we're going to give you nonstop, well-paired action for the whole night. And that was amazing. So yeah, I was like, let's just do that. Like, that's way better. So yeah, we ended up getting LocKtar, BPS, signed up, Spaced, made like one of the most epic fight posters of all time. In my opinion.
Oh, that is a killer poster, whoever made it.
I'm getting it printed, dude. I'm going to put it on the wall behind me.
Who did the work for that?
I did. Yeah, Spaced.
You did an excellent job, dude.
Thanks,
I love it.
I didn't get to put enough time in as I'd like, but yeah, I just wanted to help out. It's cool to, they're both legends, and it's just so cool to see them, showing up like that. So, yeah.
Dennis sent us the shittiest picture of all time, too. It's like,
it took a lot of Photoshop work to get the lighting right on that.
We were like, what do we do with this fucking photo? He had like a pipe in front of his face, and I was like, I sent him a picture of like the Johnny Depp stencil face. I'm like, can you do this with it? And he's like, yeah, probably. Overall, I think it, like, if we hadn't have said, people would just think like, oh, great picture, whatever. But so leading up to this, I was like, well, who's going to cast it? And I talked a bit to Messiah, who was willing and able, but then I did talk to Rose and Jehar, both about like, hey, can we get some support from Tasty Plant? Obviously, because like you guys do Quakeworld, we were doing Quakeworld, really dope. And Jehar's like, the night before, he's like, I'm in, I'll be there. I was like, sick. So Messiah decided to step down and just kind of watch, which is fine because he has kids to raise. And Jehar showed up, and I was so sweaty, dude.
Yeah.
So cool.
I've never been that sweaty, ever. I thought, like, I've been trying to do this for maybe 6 months, and I think, I'm doing okay. I'm not by any means a professional at this point, but I do love casting, and it's kind of a dream of mine to kind of get to that, a higher point than I am at now. And working with him, really opened my eyes to, like, how far it can go.
Right.
Like, I've seen him do it. Everybody's seen him do it. We all see, like, but when you're sitting there and his voice is in your ear and you're trying to do the same thing he is, like, the amount of information that comes out of that man's face is, like, crazy. And
that was awesome to just listen to, like, just like somebody that's more professional sounding in general. It's like, holy crap, this is a whole other ball game.
No, yeah, his pace, his energy, everything is, like, unfucking believable. And I for the first maybe 3 maps, I was just trying to find any way I could even fit in there, or should I just shut up and let him go? But then finally we get to ZTN, and I was like, oh, I know Blood Run. I'll talk about Blood Run. And then by the time it was over, I felt pretty comfortable, at least, doing color stuff, because, he's got play-by-plays down. I can't compete with that. So I'm just going to add some jokes in. We talked about Letterkenny and dumb shit like that. But yeah, that was like one of the better.
It was great.
That was a highlight of my life, was working with Jehar, and I hope to do that again in the future.
And he's been doing it a long time too.
Yeah, there's a lot. Many levels to what he does. Like, he would, like, what it takes to do, like, solo casting. You're having to run the stream, manage all that, and cast, and organize the people. And then on top of that, he's making the warm up maps, like the Midair maps.
So,
like, that's amazing.
Here's what happened in the background. So me and Smango are waiting on him, and I tell Smango, like, hey, just make sure Jehar gets into the appropriate channel. We got the Vikings, fucking doing whatever the fuck they were doing, man. Like, just LocKtar was, like, literally putting his pants on, which we kept joking about. And so I told BPS ahead of time, I was like, 7 maps, do literally whatever the fuck you want. And grave mistake, because he's like, let's do 2 fucking midair matches. And I'm like, oh shit. So, like, Jehar's in the channel with me, and he's just like starts sending me, because he just has these fucking handy, these random ass fucking maps on his PC. He's just like, here's the files, bro, download the map skins real quick. I don't even know if I did it right. I'd never used QTV before. Honestly, I'd never have. I've always just kind of like actually been in the server when I casted Quakeworld. So he's just like told me how to get into QTV, which is, as simple as Connect, but it's actually a better spectator experience.
Sure.
Yeah. But I had no idea. And yeah, so like Jehar 100% like made that event happen. If it hadn't been for him, it would have been probably 30 more minutes of me trying to figure out how the fucking event was going to happen before we actually went on the air. And then we get 2 wacky midair matches. I think they were like 3 minutes a pop, which is, just a warm up. And then they actually did play a best of 7, but BPS whipped that ass. So that was fun.
Yeah. The first map was great.
DM4 was like LocKtar, the comeback. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
No, it was a really, really enjoyable, match. The whole thing.
Didn't he say DM4 was one of his favorites for Duel?
Oh, LocKtar is the master. Like, if there's anybody who's a master of DM4 in particular, that would be LocKtar. And then, you can fucking forget about it with any of the, I would say newer, but like anything after 2005, really. Like, fucking lock it up, man. He's like the original 3 maps. He's got them down in the bag. ZTN, crapshoot, skull, crapshoot, phone call, crapshoot. Kidding. And BPS has just been consistent all the way through. Like, he didn't take time off or anything really from the game too much. Like, so, honestly, I thought BPS was going to win QH LAN for sure. Like, I thought he was a shoo-in when Milton didn't show for the duels. I was like, he's absolutely going to win. But, LocKtar managed to pull it off, and this was the rematch, and BPS showed us what he's made out of. It was sick.
That's what it's all about, man. Exhibition match. Fun shit.
Super fun.
Yeah, BPS played really, really well. It was great to watch.
And then the King of the Keep was, kind kind of the culmination of the whole thing. And by the point we had gotten done with Quake, I think we were somewhere in the $300 low 300s range.
Yeah, y'all are like right at it.
Yeah, and then we were like, all right, well, so I had basically 4 hours between Quake and Warfork to get ready. I made some phone calls, told my mom I loved her, grabbed a 24 pack.
Yeah.
Come home, get the stream up, let's go. And the biggest part of managing the King of the Keep is like dealing with all the different people signing up. Because I not only had to keep track of the Google document to make sure that they did in fact sign up, but also that they donated, which is, like I'm monitoring my email and PayPal and all that shit.
Right.
And I think we ended up, by the end of it, we had something in the area of like 14 or 15 people that signed up, but actually 2 or 3 people dropped out right as the event began. Champa was going to play, but she had something come up. Bran Flakes had something come up, and someone else dropped out. I can't remember who it was, but hey, we appreciate you.
She dropped out early though.
Yeah, Bran Flakes told me ahead of time. Champa signed up, and within like 30 minutes was like, oh, something came up, can't come.
Moose dropped, right?
So
I don't know.
It
was Moose. Or...
I thought Moose joined in later.
Moose did show up at like mid-event. So anyway, we got it all. Everybody was ducks in a row. Let's go. And Smango obviously was the fun part of the stream was like, thank God it wasn't like a real competitive thing. It was just like for fun. But like Smango's like literally like got his kids sitting there with him and his whole family. His wife is like joking around, having a fucking blast. The baby's crying. And he's running all the giveaways and everything and just kind of filling in.
QuakeFans.net.
Baby wants to play. Let him in. He's ready, coach.
QuakeFans.net. Be sure to follow me
in Kentucky.
Be sure and follow me on Twitter. It's the best place to hear.
We love you.
The names that
it was so great. It was an amazing stream.
Have you guys been monitoring his names on Twitter over the past 2 weeks?
Oh no, I haven't.
It's gone from like Fortnite sucks to I think like just like go buy Quake, and then I think the most recent one, I could even check it right now just to make sure I don't misquote him here, but I believe the current name is I spelled Quackle Fans. Oh, he changed it again. Remember the Hunted TFC? What the fuck is this? He keeps changing it. It's like I don't know why this is happening, but it was
He's keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, okay. Forget you. I can't keep up with you, Smango.
He doesn't want any of the actual Quake fans to be able to find him.
No, his actual it's still fans Quake.
Yeah.
But yeah, the name keeps changing to different.
They're
things.
gonna see the name and be like, "Who the fuck is this? What the fuck's going on?"
Who the hell is promoting my podcast now? This is great.
It's gonna end up being like, "Don't drink water, fish piss in it." QuakeFans.net. So then, yeah, the night starts off looking like a slim night. We get start off Capelli, thick Capelli, the thickest, and Lego Ninja, my buddy, face off. Obviously, Capelli, well versed in arena shooters, not at all in Warfork. And then Lego Ninja downloaded the game literally 24 hours before we played in the event. So that was a fun little, let's watch two guys that can't strafe jump shoot each other. Capelli moves on, and then, we get through Doomza, and Zills ends up kind of becoming, the obvious, you were seated wrong character of the night, or Z2Z, as we've later learned that his name was. So, that was a bunch of bullshit, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So just like, who is going to beat this guy? I've seen it happen before with Zenero and State of Quake.
I'm just sitting there being a dick.
With Nate.
Yeah, we had Nate last time in Warfork. It's like a perpetual issue with the seating. There's always
That's why I was just sitting there being a dick in the chat saying, it's okay, guys, I got this.
Well, yeah, there was no ranking system.
X will shut it down if Donut doesn't. We got this. But yeah. We have to play more than just 2 maps, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was still enjoyable. It was really great.
Well, Smango just tapped out like a minute or so to go. Moose hopped in like completely cold with no warm up because I think he was doing some kind of Doom event earlier in the day, and then finally, he goes through Haducant, he goes through Space. Like, who the fuck can beat this guy? Finally, Donut puts him down, and then X comes in and just smacks Donut around for a bit. But throughout the event, we kept getting more and more people. They're like, "Hey, is it too late to sign up?" NVZ like PMs me. I was like, "Yeah, we'll put you right at the end, buddy. Don't worry about that." and like, who else was it? Oh Knows, who was a complete unknown to me, but everybody was saying like, you better put him towards the end, so we put him like second to last. And VJ Tenjin had signed up ahead of time too.
Yeah, VJ beat the piss out of me, dude.
Well, yeah, Space has been giving me like lists recently, like these are the European players. Yeah,
look.
I was not ready for that, man. Oh.
I mean, yeah, that was the great part, is at the very end, the EU players signed up. It was really late at night for them, which, next time, now we have an NYC server, which we played on, and thanks to UX, and then we can, have it earlier next time. But it was so cool how many people showed up that late, like, and the skill gap, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was a shock, and I actually really want to, I've been putting out feelers to try get a couple of games set up with those guys again, because that was a slap in the face, honestly. But it's, you guys know Violent Heart. He's my primary dual partner.
Never heard of him.
And he's pretty up there in terms of skill, and these guys are right up there with him, if not, steps above him in respect to Warsaw, Warfork, and all that. And so seeing that kind of quality of play really makes me want to get in and practice with them as much as I can.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, like Zeb was I forgot earlier, but Zeb was the other person who had to drop out. Like,
right.
So everybody's like, okay, of course Zeb is going to win. And then...
Yeah.
And then Zeb drops out. Violent Heart says he can't make it. eXtwofour absolutely going to win tonight. And then all these fucking Europeans start signing up. And VJ was like, he's the only known factor to me. Like, I was like, I'm pretty sure VJ could probably give you at least some competition, if not whip your ass. And so it was basically you or VJ.
It was really interesting because I've heard, I've been hearing his name for a while, but I've never ever played him or really even seen him play in any real depth. And so that was really cool because I don't get to see a lot of EU players.
No.
Yeah, his movement was insane. And like, that's because I think a lot more of the EU players have come back since the Warsaw days, and only a few have come back in NA. And obviously the competition's always been fiercer even back then. But having all that time spent in the game, the speed that he moved, like the precision of movement was pretty crazy.
So somewhere in the point, like I'm not exactly sure where it happened. I was, dealing with the whole event, but we'd gotten to right under the 400 mark, and we're like, what can we do to get people to donate? And I don't know how it happened, but eventually we settled on, if we get over 400, Smango's going to do the Hokey Pokey. Which then became the Naked Hokey Pokey, which then became like he's going to share his private Snapchat. And within a few minutes, we're like well past 400. And then I think Space was like, somebody in chat was talking about Makaveli, and I'm like, I'll ask Makaveli to be on the podcast if we break 450. Boom, we're right past 450, and then. And as the guy goes on, like, okay, can we do 500? And then I can't remember who it was. Somebody with some crazy ass name, but they donated like 44, which is exactly enough to get us to $400, $499.99.
Which that was brilliant.
I mean, ultimate. Like, first of all, thank for the donation, but also hilarious. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why all the EU players are suddenly kind of taking notice. I guess we're the only competition technically in town right now.
Yeah, as far as NA goes for Warfork, yeah.
Got a little bit of traffic on YouTube from the first, tournament, and obviously Kane has been really supportive of us promoting his game.
He's been amazing.
But fucking sick, big thank you to Kane for bringing Warfork to the people. Like,
for sure. Because I mean, Warsaw has been pretty much off the grid now for a long time.
Yeah, dude, it was awful.
Yeah, it's the first arena shooter I've been good at.
That's true. Like, as soon as we downloaded Warfork, and then all of a sudden Haducant's like one of the best players in the keep.
Not recently, but like when we all first started, that was pretty good.
Yeah, you just took to it like a duck to water, man. It's good.
But it seems to be that way with the EU a lot, with pretty much all arena shooters right now, but especially Warsaw and Warfork. Like, it's a lot bigger with the EU community, it seems like.
Well, it's like, these are the guys who are freaks of nature at the game, and also are freaks of nature in that they're willing to be awake at like 6 o'clock in the morning to play these fucking tournaments, man. Nate, BJ, NVZ, Onos. I think Z2Z is European. I could be totally off on that, but
I think so. It is. I think it was pinging kind of high last night.
Yeah, Capelli, like,
or whatever.
Like, half the fucking tournament ended up being European players, and like, you guys ever go to sleep at all?
Yeah, the worst time for them too. But it was amazing though. Like, please, more of you guys come out. Like, that's what made it great.
I think.
Oh man, they've got that midnight sun going on.
Well, in the future, right? Like, so 10:30 is probably a good enough time. Like, I'm willing to wake up at that point. Most everybody in America is awake, somewhere in that time frame on a Saturday or whatever, and that's like early evening, moving into the mid evening, late, not quite late night for them. So we could probably do something more custom. We X set up the New York server, so we could definitely like cross pollinate a lot better if we just plan it better next time.
Yeah.
And then I don't even want to just do like King of the Hills. Like, I want to like actually have some sort of proper competition go on at some point. But
yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, something with the bracket we had if we can get it set up where you've got enough time and everything, it really would be fun to be able to do a best of 3 kind of bracket.
We can, like, we now we know who to invite. Like, we do an invitational. Like, we got our Violent Heart, Zeb, like our general group, and we know who the Europeans that we want to invite pretty much are.
NA versus EU, let's go.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
And so hard.
Haducant's been talking about 2v2s also, like
Deathmatch
or CA, and I mean, I'd love to see that Ultraviolence clan show up like QuakeCon and just crush everybody.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
I will. I'm 100%. I don't even want to set that up. I want someone else to set it up so I can play. Like,
I can make it out the QuakeCon one of these years. We got to host a tournament for that.
Oh yeah, the 2v2 clan arena Warfork. I'm in, like, 100%. It's fucking super fun. And then, what else did we have the night? Oh yeah, well, basically we lead into the second to last from the finals match, which ended up being the last 3 matches were VJ versus NVZ. VJ versus Onos. Correction. Onos and NVZ ended up being the finals, but Onos and VJ had not the closest match, but a closer match than what ended up happening with NVZ and Onos. I did NVZ a disservice by putting him at the end. I did not realize how good VJ and Onos were.
Maybe just put all EU players at the very top.
Yeah. Well, that's they were at the top. They just weren't in the right order.
Yeah.
And
NVZ also, I don't think he put in a lot of time leading up to it either. He just kind of signed up spur of the moment, so it wasn't. You know what I mean? There was no practice with any of that either. So.
Well, and you have to remember, you don't exactly have, VODs of their past tournaments at hand, because it's pretty few and far between,
or ranks or anything like nothing to go off of. So just like, I knew NVZ was quite a great player just from seeing him play and interact with him. VJ had only just joined the Keep very recently. I had never played with him, but I knew he was quite good. Onos signed up in the middle of the tournament, so yeah, probably should have been the other way around. Probably should have been NVZ, then VJ, then Onos, and then I think we would have had a better grand finals. But overall, it was solid, and Onos ended up coming out on top. So he is officially the king of the Keep until the next one.
Yeah, congrats to Onos, and
congratulations to him. He did good.
and NVZ for putting up a really good fight. It was still really entertaining. I mean, it was a great time. And that was, the time that the most money was raised in the shortest amount of time as well.
Yeah.
Was during that grand final.
Well, we're saying we'll do a bunch of different stuff to get money, guys. Just name it.
My nipples are ready.
Might be easier ways to get that cheap money.
We ended up going up to like quite close to $600, and then I rounded it out at the end because I had promised a certain amount. I can't remember what it was, but basically me and Space said, like, I think if we get a 500, we'll make that 50 happen. So I think
it was 450, right? Or was it?
It was like right.
450.
It was like if we make it, somewhere in that area, like we'll split the 50 to make it 500. So like by the time it was over, I was like, we owe, like the keep owes X amount of money. So we ended up topping out at $600 at the end of it.
Right
so
on.
That's awesome.
That's 9,755 Egyptian pounds and some change. Yeah. So we did it, boys. We did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
And good job to everybody
All those people
worked really hard on organizing it. Because I mean, I know you guys have thanked me a bunch for working on the servers, but you guys did all the fucking legwork of like, actually reining the people in and running the streams and everything.
There were some late nights.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Like I was asking people from like some of my local discords, like from my school, I'm like, hey, you guys probably don't know any of like these kind of games, but come check it out. It's for fun.
Right.
I had a few guys from my class show up, so it was good.
Yeah, and X, you did put in a lot of work, on all the server maintenance, setting up a New York server last minute, which allowed all those players to show up. I mean,
restarting really everything.
Awesome.
I'm just glad the New York server ended up being so useful because I just intended it to be a backup, in case Dallas went down. But
well, you said like I have a available space in New York, and I was like, well, but what if these Europeans play? Like, we ended up playing on it all night, but. No, everybody here contributed, and a lot of people who did contribute, like, are not available at this exact moment to be on the show. But so many people put their hands in this, like the whole Z-Damon community, all of FS, which is Suplex's clan, pretty much showed up to play in Survival. The USQC, the whole Z-Damon community at large, obviously Jehar, the Tasty Flames fans, just Quakeworld in general fans. US Quakeworld with Messiah popping in.
40.
Fucking 40 Lions, man.
Fucking legend.
Obviously, Warfork had their eyes on us because of the recent competition that we've kind of showed. So, like, everything worked out great. Like, I'm really happy with it. This is right around, like, something in the air. We raised, like, $212 last year, which was, we did our best. This is way better. And I said, if we could beat that, we won. And we 3 times beat that, basically.
Sure.
So, I think this is going to be something that I continue to do every year as long as I have even if it's not in October, like whatever we have to do, like some kind of charity event is good. It's overall good for, obviously the charity and for us at large. I think this is a really good opportunity to come together and do something cool.
For sure. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. Thank you for all your hard work, Motherload, and setting all that up.
It was fun.
It's great.
Let's see. What else did I want to touch on before we get out of here? We're pretty much done with the event. That's all good, but I did want to individually thank each of you. So, X, thank you so much for the servers and anything else that you did that I'm forgetting about right now. Space, tirelessly working on everything with me, and Haducant. So you guys this is our core group, like me, Space, and Haducant. Pretty much 4 out of 7 nights a week are always talking about something to do with what can we do to improve this brand. And, the whole week leading up to it, let's get the stream how we want it to go. I still managed to fuck a lot of it up, but that's not important.
Oh man, you did a great job.
It seems like it all came together just fine.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, what's encouraging is every time more people show up, every time, we raise more money, and also, the production quality gets better, and we'll continue to.
Mm-hmm.
It will. And also the theme music the whole time I want to mention was Igrax Simon, who does a lot of the podcast music as well. So big thanks to him too for coming through. I basically sent him let's try to do something that is obviously your style, techno, but also let's do something that's got like a little bit of a Middle Eastern tinge to it because we're sending the money to Egypt. And I was thinking like Indiana Jones, and then he came up with that fucking banger. I was like, this, which he's gonna be releasing all of the music that he does for the podcast. He's gonna make them into full tracks and put them on his YouTube. So for anybody,
no way,
yeah,
cool.
That's great. That's great. He's putting his art out there, yeah.
But guys, this has been a blast, and I think that we should make a point because for two different reasons. One, because sometimes guests drop out. And two, because I think that it's important. I spend a lot of time kind of being the only voice of the Keep, and I want people like our listeners, our core community, even the people, there are going to be people who only tune in for like a Milton or like a really big guest. There's also people who are like legit loyal fans of the Keep, and I do want them to understand and get to hear from you guys at certain intervals. So we should do that more often.
Sure. I mean, there are a lot of players out there that aren't at the same level as the big dogs as far as, their recognition and all of that, but they're just as skilled. And so they certainly can understand why they could use some time in the spotlight and a little bit, a connection for sure. That's
the beauty of the Keep, and it always has been, that you don't have to be a fucking banger, kick-ass pro.
Right.
I was listening to Makaveli earlier on Thorin's show, and he was talking about how, like, Space, this is actually a good story for you, man. You were talking about how, like, used to, like, when you're growing up in the Bay Area and all that bullshit, that you would play against, you'd jump into a server, and it would be like fucking Makaveli and Thresh, and you didn't even know who they were, and they'd beat
I was 10 years old when Quake came out, so, like, I was online playing, but, I was playing against bots and stuff, because I'd go on the internet, connect to a Bay Area server, and I was like, man, everybody's so fucking good. Like, and then I'd go, play a fighting game in an arcade and found out that, the biggest fighting game scene in America is in the Bay Area too at the time. So it's like, I just thought I sucked at all video games. Yeah.
Just a rough hand with the opponents.
But Makaveli was basically saying that, his principle was to never go easy on anyone. Like at the time, they were pretty gangster about it. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm Makaveli, and I'm about to whoop that ass. So you probably got caught up in that at some point. And
probably, yeah.
And as much as I love Makaveli, he's a fucking true hero of all of Quake and arena shooters and the gaming community at large. Like every Mount Rushmore of Quake, he'd be on it. And
yep,
for sure.
So the Keep has always been about like not like that at all. Like we're any skill level. We were open to new people coming in all the time. We're here to help you, and that's what we're doing. So thank you guys very much, and I love you very much. You guys are all awesome.
Kisses.
Thank you.
And to all those loyal fans out there that I mentioned earlier, we appreciate you as well, and thank you for showing up for the event. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and stay in the Keep. Rose was telling me how you guys rigged Dream. No, tell the story about rigging DreamHack while you're here, since I have you both in one place.
You've been asking me so many times now.
I want it live on the air.
LocKtar is obviously the better storyteller.
Let's kill the music.
I can't even remember what happened, BP. Seriously, we were
the bowling ball at DreamHack.
The bowling ball at DreamHack. So I think started off with not only one beer at the Scandic Hotel there. Maybe all of them, perhaps. And it was, I think it was in the beginning, was all the Quake guys and like, but we went to the sleeping halls and we were supposed to sleep, but we were with too much energy in our bodies. So, and we found this bag of bowling balls. So we thought that we might borrow one ball for the moment, which was not maybe the best idea now in the after hand. So what I remember that we were we're on this parking lot and we're drinking more beer, obviously. And we sat in my car. I remember you, BPS, puked in my you puked in the car because you forgot to open the door also. And after that, we took the bowling ball and there was this leaning of the road, so that goes on to a roundabout. It was like, I think it was like 3 a.m. in the morning, so it was no people up. It was only we drunk with Quakers with a bowling ball. Anyway, yeah, we thought like, I wonder how fast it will take for this bowling ball to reach that roundabout. It was like 100 meters, so it was, we were little kids. Like, we were almost a little bit excited about it. So we just laid it there and let it roll.
And no cars on the streets, right?
No. It was no problems. And the ball was rolling faster and faster. It took like 4 or 5 minutes until it almost reached the roundabout. And then we see a car coming, a taxi. And we're like, the bowling ball will reach the roundabout before it's the taxi. No problems. But the fucking cab driver, he accelerates like he's want to crash into that fucking bowling ball. And I'm like getting a little, my heart raced just a little bit, almost like in this game. Anyways, so I think the cab driver and the bowling ball missed by maybe 5 centimeters. Maybe 5 millimeters. Yeah. So that's the story about the bowling ball. No, nothing happened, but it could have ended in a disaster. Imagine me, drunk as world champion, talking to a cab driver about ruining his fucking car. That's his living. I'm not a simple Quaker. Seriously. I need to spend all my winnings from Quakeworld to this cab driver fixing his car. Just because we were drunk, stealing a fucking bowling ball.
And despite nothing actually happening, you still got in trouble somehow. That doesn't make any sense.
The thing is, it's still in my heart. Like, I can never do those kind of things. So I never steal bowling balls drunk. I steal other shits, like people's beers and so on. Other than that, we had a good time. Nothing happened that day, but that was a long time ago.
Wasn't it the same night that we fired off the fire alarm at the Scandicon?
This is the BPS talking too much. No, we don't need to talk about everything.
No, let him talk. Let him talk. He's the new defending Quake what is the word we used? No.
This
defending king
game.
of the
Remember
Quake
that.
world.
Friendly game. Come on, boys.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay, BP. I don't know.
I don't recall. I think we were like pre-partying in somebody's hotel room, and I think we were like 15 people in a very small room, and you and me were leaving, and we pulled that red lever, which you never should pull. And there we go. Fire trucks, did they arrive? I don't really recall, but we ran it, I think. Something like that.
How old? But we were young then.
Yes.
We were very young.
Now you're
like
wise.
35.
Now you're very wise.